get caught up at all? I'm kind of worried about you.
I'm worried as well.
Well, can I do anything to help?
My trouble started with the AA linked list.
Well,
I was very lost on that. I know I got behind on a couple other ones, and then another one wanted me to implement the AA linked list. I've been going in circles with that a little bit, not the new one,
Well,
but the AA linked list.
are you in class solid between 10:30 and 1:30?
No. Your other class?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have that whole time free in my office.
Okay.
I have extended office hours.
Okay.
People get a little behind if you come and hang out in my office and give a little help now and then.
I will.
I want you guys, I want you to succeed.
Oh,
but-
definitely.
But I gotta see some evidence of you're getting it.
Okay.
And yeah, that company like this was a little bit of a trip, but
I just...
most people got it, and you just gotta, you know?
Do you think most people could write it from scratch?
I think that's why we go to classes, so we learn how to do it. I mean, no. I mean,
Right.
maybe with the book, I mean, some people can pick up a book and learn it. If we all did that, we wouldn't need colleges,
Right.
right? It does take some effort, and some good question asking helps a lot. I mean, I'm a lot better at answering a question of why am I not getting the data
Right.
out in my XML file than I am at answering a question like, I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
That's a real hard one to answer.
I'm gonna make a book, and that book is just gonna be a compilation of Java docs and top questions on Stack Overflow. I'm gonna sell that book for $100. Say anyone with these items can become a master programmer.
The problem with the Stack Overflow is sometimes you go there.
What were your
The
days?
person that's asking the question
What were your days?
is confused.
What were?
The in
Yeah, so
office
you're like,
hour.
Well, okay, my normal office hour is from 12:30 to 1:15-ish every day. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I don't have my Java 1 class.
Okay.
So that means when I get out of the 9:30 class, I go back to my office and I hang around there and work on a few slides, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that.
Okay.
I've been there many times.
It works.
And yeah,
doesn't
it helps. It's huge help.
Just hanging out there, and when you get stuck, you get a little bit of help. I know it's hard. This is not an easy class. We've had a fair amount of attrition in this class, and some of it has been due to folks who thought, gee, Java 1 was easy.
Right.
And I got a grade there because people, I grade easy, and I go easy in Java 1 to try to be easy on the mechanical engineers and the aeronautical engineers and the chemical engineers who have to take one programming class. But here, this is serious stuff, folks.
The problem that occurs is who you take 142 with. Then going into 143, there's things that your 142 class learned that we did not learn in ours. He can tell you we didn't learn some of the stuff that you talk about. We had to read it on our own.
I try to work around that.
And that's the biggest issue that we run into.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's like when you take a math class. If you're taking the calculus series, you want to try to take it with the same teacher. That way, they're not teaching you. They're trying to teach you something that maybe the other teacher didn't get to or didn't go over as well. And
that's a legitimate problem, and I understand that, that's difficult. But like I said, I think I'm pretty receptive to
Yeah, you've been
well-formed
extremely
questions.
you've been extremely helpful. I mean, but I'm just saying that, like Professor Stewart, he didn't. I mean, that was his first class he had ever taught.
Yeah, I know.
He was
and that's-
brilliant. I mean, he's a brilliant guy. I mean, he knows his stuff, but he doesn't translate it to us. Like he would just start talking, and he would just go through the slides, and we were like, "What do you?" I mean, like, I think we had one day in which we did lab.
Yeah, well, and it is college too, it's not high school, so, you know, when you hit a problem, you gotta be willing to get your hand up and ask a question.
Well, I did.
And like I said, I don't expect all questions to be super well formed. And I try to help out. It's just, the question, I don't know where to get started is a stumper for me.
Yes.
Have you ever taken a math class and you have a really good professor, but there's a moment where you're just staring at the board and you want to say, what?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Well, actually say what? Because A, you're paying your professor to do that. B, your professor makes your life hell, so you better make their life hell back. Don't actually do that. 3, that's how they improve their lectures for future classes
Yeah.
and actually teach you their material.
Yes, indeed. No, since the CTC link is coming along, I seem to be losing having class evaluations on every class. That's something I got to do to myself. Somebody sent me an email to remind me. It won't help this class, but I want to get back on to getting student course evaluations every course, because I read those and I pay attention to them. I get good ideas out of them.
I do think that, and this is honest feedback, I'm not trying to dig on you or anyone else, I do feel like, especially compared to like other departments that are larger and more established in the school, it feels like we are still fighting for consistency in the curriculums for prerequisite and subsequent programming courses. The fact that there's only 2 of them probably doesn't help.
Yeah, and the fact that we don't have any computer science department hurts. I mean, I'm in the math department. I'm not in the engineering department.
Yeah, it's always weird. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Professor Strayer who's in charge of the, oh, we don't have one of those. He just manages the 2 classes we have.
Well, you know, we tried to hire a guy, and we had him for about a year, and then he went up to Shoreline.
Fashion.
Yeah.
I talk to him sometimes.
And I liked Eric. He was kind of new to teaching too. He had a few rough spots, but they're delighted to get him up at Shoreline, and I was pissed to lose him.
Dude, he answered questions like someone who actually, wasn't just doing their job. You know what I mean? He helped me out a lot. He got me in all this robotic stuff that I'm into.
Well, okay, it's Wednesday the 10th. I'm recording now, but I'm still got to get the right screen up.
Genius.
Okay, so
Dude.
I'd like to talk a little bit, start with a little bit farther on. I don't really have my slides set in very good shape yet. I'm working and evolving it as I go along. But I do have some material to cover beyond where we were in GUIs yesterday. I do want to stop and beg for questions. I mean, sometimes people have problems, and and I'll go back and cover stuff.
How do we make, if we have a button, let's say it's a plus button,
You have a button that's
and let's just say it's a plus button.
plus.
Yeah, let's just say.
Yeah.
Okay, how do I get that plus to go where the cursor is? I've got several text boxes. I want to click one of the text boxes, hit the plus button, whatever it is, and have that plus go in that text where the cursor is. Dude, I've wasted 4 hours
Okay.
today.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It
Append?
doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I think I know what you're talking about. It
Okay.
doesn't have to make sense.
Yes. Thank
So
you.
what? So you're saying, for example, I've got a button here with say a plus on it,
Whatever. Yes, anything.
and what you're asking is, how could I make it so that when I click that button, that plus sign appears here?
No, if you click the C, so your cursor's in the Enter C, where it says Enter C.
Enter C.
He's saying the text box right there.
So when you have the application up and running, so your cursor is blinking in that specific one, then hit it and go wherever the cursor is.
So you want the plus button
So
to
you're saying it's like this?
Yeah, and go in the C box. And if you click B, so the cursor's in B, have it go to the B box.
Yeah, the cursor, the mouse,
The plus.
the plus sign?
Yes. Say you have 50 buttons, random buttons, and they had variables in them.
Okay.
I just want to be able to click the cursor, click a button, and have that variable go inside of that box. Hours today.
One way you could do it is you could store all of your text boxes in a collection.
Do switch, K-switch.
Yeah, and then just check all of them to see where
Yeah.
the cursor is and then stop.
Show me what you want to have. Come up here. Show me
Just
what
do
you
it.
want.
That's all if you click the plus button right now,
I click the plus button.
I would want the plus to show up in B.
You want it to show up in B.
Yes.
Okay. Now, there's a difficulty here that I see. I can certainly make,
A huge amount of code to be able to do it. I wanted something simple.
well, the problem is remembering which box you were in. See, because if my cursor's in here and I go over here and click,
And that takes the cursor out of it.
takes the cursor
Yes.
out of it. Now, that's actually a pretty insightful question, and that's a little bit ahead of where I want to be right now, but not so far ahead that it's not worth it. It's not bad to talk about. What you want, what you're looking at right now, B has the focus.
Yes.
Only one component at a time has focus.
Okay.
Right now, the plus sign has the focus. Right now, B has the focus. So, let me finish my sentence, and then I'll get you. So what you would like to do is say, B has the focus right now. When I go over and click on the plus sign, I would like to remember that B had the focus and go back there. Now, events. There are lots of events. The one event we've talked about a lot is the event of
Clicking a button.
a button. But there's a lot of events.
Yes.
Now, if you understand the concept of focus, what you're saying is when B loses the focus, or A loses the focus, or C loses the focus, I'd like to remember that it had the focus when that click event takes place. That's what he's asking for. Lost focus. That's something happening. Now, you have to know what are all of the events that are floating around. Watch. If I right click on there,
There's
in here,
50.
and most most GUI applications, you right-click on something,
16.
you get a context menu of things that are cool
I say 16.
to do.
What do you say?
And notice there's add event handler here.
It's over.
Okay?
10, 13.
And
Focus.
I don't see lost focus in there.
I
Do
see
you?
focus with the
Focus. There. There it is. There's
There should
focus.
be a whole subset of focus events.
Focus. Focus lost. Okay?
okay.
So if I want to have an event for B that's focus lost, now I've just built a focus adapter here and some code that will execute whenever B loses focus.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I want to basically do the same things for A, B, and C. Wanting to do the same things suggests that maybe one event handler is doing the stuff for all three of them. Or maybe not. Maybe I just replicate some code. What I'd like to do is I would like to be able to remember. That means I have a variable to do the remembering
The very last one.
that's up at the class level so I can get at it. So private J text field. Let's remember which text field had the focus.
TXTC.
Okay? So I have a variable of type JText field,
Okay.
which could point to any one of those three. I'm going to call it remember which text field. Okay. So when B loses text flow, I'd want to then say, what the hell did I call that thing? That's what God made copy and paste for, right?
Yes. Why is it a text field?
Equals text B. Okay?
Cool.
So that will remember that. So I'll need to basically have the same thing for the other text fields. Again, I can have one to do each of them, but that's okay. So add event handler focus, focus lost, and here and this would be for text A, and then I'm going to need one for text C, because obviously you want to remember which one of those three had the focus last. Right?
So, yes.
So add event handler, focus, focus lost, paste it in, and this is where text C loses focus. Now, here's another thing that I'm going to do, which is the console is a really nice thing to help out when debugging a GUI application. So frequently I'll do system.out.printlns to go to the console to see what's going on. So let's just drop that out to the console when it happens. Of course, this one is A lost focus, and this one is C lost focus. Okay?
Yes.
Now, I'm not doing anything with it yet, but before I go on, I want to make sure I'm there. So I'm going to test it right now. A lost focus, because I had it in A when I clicked on B. B lost focus. C lost. A lost focus. C lost focus. A lost focus. And then some things happen with the button click. So now I remember who was the guy who had the problem.
Cool.
Now, what you'd like to do is have a plus sign appear in there.
Just
maybe
any.
after what's ever already there, right? Now
Yes.
watch. We can do that. It's going to be in the event handler for this guy, which right now is doing some stuff that I demonstrated this morning about dealing with fonts and colors, and that's what I talk about in the 9:30 lecture. And if you're interested in it, you can go listen to that.
Since I'm being
And it's my intent when I get back to what I'm saying to talk about some of these other things we can learn about this. But that's why I want to pursue this, because I got your attention now, because it's a question you wanted the answer to, right?
all day.
Okay. Now look, there is a text field called remember text field. Remember which text field? Okay. And that guy exists. Let's get the string that's in it right now. Remember, two different names can point to the same object. And the contents of remember which text field could be text A, text B, or text C. But I'll get the text that's out of it. And, oh, S may not be good there. I'll have to use it for something else. How about SSS? Okay, that's cool. Good. And now, remember text field dot set text. Let's put SSS in there and
Plus.
Well, up here I found out which button was clicked. Let's go back and look at this code, because this code could have been on multiple buttons. Okay? So when the button was clicked, I asked, hey, what was the source of this event? That's a method in the action event. Now, I happen to know that the only things I'm putting this action listener are in buttons, so I can safely cast that object into a button. If that action listener were attached to different types of objects, I might have to use instance of to make sure I was casting it into the thing I wanted to. But I gotta make sure it's a button, because when it's a button, then I know it has a getText method, and I snatch the text of that button up and put it in the string S. That was a plus sign, right? So SSS plus S.
Rad.
And then I did some other things here I was demonstrating, but maybe you want a space between them. So the plus sign doesn't represent text. Now watch. Lost focus. Of course I lost focus.
Cool.
Okay, I put you off for a while, but that's good.
Well, you pretty much said what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So my question is, here's this potential issue.
Hmm?
So exit the program. Start the program again. Hit the plus button right now,
Okay.
just to be sure.
We know what's going to happen.
Bunch of red
We're
stuff.
going to get a null pointer reference, aren't we?
Maybe. Nope, we're good. A lost focus when you click the button.
Oh, the focus was already in A.
Too cool.
Had it not been in A. Now, there's some things you can and sometimes want to control. When it runs, which object has the focus? Another thing that's a good part of human factors design is what happens when the user hits the tab key. Because it's nice in a form to be able to tab your way through the forms. Okay? So, yes, there is something that I could have done to ensure which component has the focus.